So I was recently listening to an Elon Musk Q&A, and someone asking about simulation theory and everything else. And then he said that the one sentence that really impacted me. So he said that simulation, the universe is the answer. What are the questions? And really, the universe has always existed. But what matters is the right questions that we should be asking. And I think that's a fascinating framework to think about life and to think about research, to think about building companies, to think about doing anything. Because if you're able to ask or have the right questions, you've done 50% of the work. Because you're probably going to be in the right path. And when you're able to go in the right path, the answer will be more likely to be found. And it is a super interesting thing to think about. And not only when trying to find questions about the universe, but also when trying to find and understand a new business. Great businesses are built on finding solutions to problems. So if we're able to so the problems are there. What are the right questions to ask so you can provide an answer? And that applies in business, research, coming up with equations to understand the universe. The power of understanding the right questions. That is powerful. Just being able to ask the right questions. And I'm thinking about how we can ask better questions. So I think a fundamental fact about asking right questions is the ability to be wrong. Because sometimes, number one, so the ability to be wrong. Sometimes it's better to risk being wrong and try to see, and then if you know something is wrong, the other thing might be right. So in statistics, there's a concept that you use to find usually probabilities. It's called a complement. So if you know the probability of something not happening, it's 80%. So you know that the probability of happening is going to be 20%. Stuff like that. So I think a fundamental thing or aspect that you need to understand when asking questions is, number one, being able to be wrong or trying to be wrong. Because when you're wrong, you can find the right answer. The other thing that is also really important to ask when asking good questions is that you have to really kind of understand what the topic you're asking about, because sometimes we could ask unnecessary questions. So how do we know when we're asking unnecessary questions? Is by understanding and having a good background on what we're performing or doing, right? And so I think that those two framework, it's being able to be wrong and having a deep understanding of what we're trying to come up with an answer for. And that's super helpful. So I hope that helps. And please understand that asking the right questions, it's everything. It's half of the work that you ever would need to do. So just ask the right questions. Thank you.